Mr. Beard here with your class recap for Thursday and Friday, November 10th and 11th. Both days we were in the Odyssey. Thursday we read about Odysseus' trip to the underworld to speak to the blind prophet Tiresias about how the best way to get home would be. Tiresias gives Odysseus a sort of bleak forecast of what could happen. He tells him the one thing he cannot do is allow his men to eat cattle of the sun god Helios. If he does that, he will have a very dark and painful journey back home to his beloved Penelope and son Telemachus. If you were not here the day we read that, you will need to go back either in the online textbook or in the textbook in class and read pages 969 to 974. You will also need to create a T-chart writing down Tiresias' prophecy on the left and on the right leaving it blank. We'll be going back and looking at piece by piece, looking at his prophecy and seeing how events unfold compared to his prophecy. If you are watching this from home, you can go to our online textbook on our class website. Remember, Google Beard English 9. You can go to the online textbook, click here, click the online version. If you don't remember your password, you can get it from our Moodle site by logging into Moodle, getting your login information. Click here, and go ahead and log in, and you can do the reading online through Pearson SuccessNet. If you are able to make it to class, you need to go over to our makeup bin area here and get the packet from the makeup bin of the day that you missed. And that'll get you caught up to speed for what we did Thursday. Friday, we stayed within the text, reading the Odyssey, and we read about Odysseus' adventure with the sirens and his temptation with the siren song. After going back and talking to Circe after visiting the underworld, remember Circe is the witch that he visited for a year. And after talking to Circe, she warns him that they'll be passing the sirens, and the siren song is so alluring, so tempting, so bewitching, that even though you know following that song, jumping ship and swimming out to the sirens is sure death, it is so enchanting to hear their voices that you cannot help it. And we relate that sort of temptation to lots of things in our culture. One of the first things we did after completing the reading was write down 5 things in our modern society that we know are bad for us, but can still be tempting in the wrong circumstance. One of course, the first answers is drug use. You know, we all know drugs can be addicting, and we all know that they are destructive and bad. But a couple more thoughtful responses include things like debt. Debt in our society has become such a damaging thing. You know, the idea of wanting to spend more and more, even though you know you're digging yourself into a hole, can be very tempting. It can be tempting to have the nicest car, the nicest computer, the nicest phone. And our society is, tempted by the siren call of the credit card. Those are some great student answers. So again, if you're not here Friday, you'll need to go back and read pages 975 to 980 to see how Odysseus manages to survive the temptation of the sirens. The last thing I want to remind you of is the Odyssey Vocabulary Part 1, which we covered on Wednesday. So if you were not here Wednesday, go ahead and watch the Wednesday class recap. And make sure you are staying on top of that, as that will be due next week, and make sure you're checking the assignment calendar to see the due dates. And that covers what we did in class on November 10th and 11th. Thank you for listening.